Greetings, Earthlings. This is Andrew here. I am making a little video. This is my well, it'll be my first video, but this is my like fourth or something attempt to sound less like a jackass. And I said twice in the sentence about that. So hey, we can't be winners all the time. Anyways, yeah, I thought it would be fun to sort of look at a particular section of music that I'm working on, sort of dissect things, and it might make people feel a little bit more um, comfortable that have been asking me about this type of software and how I put together music with it. So this is called Sibelius. This is a software, it's scoring software, engraving software. I focus more on the scoring side. It's a bit like I nervously move the mouse around. So, but up here there are different tabs do different things. It reminds me of Microsoft Office in that regard. There are a lot of programs are like that now. So the home thing, you can add different instruments, take them away, add bars, take them away, input notes, different ways that you can a lot of shortcuts, things like that. Notation, change your time signature, bar line, key signature, etc. Here is for different articulations. I found out in a previous attempt at making this video that the window that comes out when I press this button doesn't show up in the video. So trust me, there are a lot more options than just those 5. But yeah, there are different sort of things: playback, recording. Oh, and there's this little feature where you can export into, you can print it into different have it for players to read. You can export into different files. You can export into MIDI. I don't know what teaching is. Let's imagine what you're thinking right now. But anyways, I'm going home, taking my notes and my bars, and I'm going back here. Let's start out. This is a 6/8. This section of the song is in 6/8. The working title of it is called Biggie Waltz, because the main sort of riff has an extra quarter note to it, and so it's not just in 4/4. There's an extra quarter note in every 4th bar of 6/8. So it's like a waltz, but even bigger, and it sounds like Biggie Smalls. It'll probably be called something else later. Don't you worry. Anyways, I'm making these sections blue so I can pick out this particular instrument. These particular instruments, we're looking at trumpets, 4 trumpets, and a trombone here. So we're going to get an idea of the chord sequence. And these are dotted half notes, so they will take up the entire bar. Trust me, it's a great way to start. Here we go. I just pressed the space bar so it will play, but I can also click up here. Yeah, so that part repeats later, and it brings in some trombones. We can go ahead and blue the trombones to hear what that sounds like when those come in. The trumpets up here in that trombone were previously set at mezzo piano. They will stay at mezzo piano when the trombones come in, but those are at mezzo forte, because I like the oomph that the more bass gives it. So I'm just bringing the last 2 bars of just the higher brass, and then all in the gang. So yeah, there you go. And that is your brass. There's some brass for that. Well, here we go. Changing subject. So yeah, those are the longer drawn notes. Let's hear some of the faster ones, because rhythm often contains faster notes and longer notes. That's why I called on my pal, the Harpsichord. Just actually wrote this part this morning. It's essentially just the chord, arpeggiated. It's in fortissimo. It's mainly because the harpsichord has a hard time keeping up with some of these brass volume-wise. In mixing down the road, I'll probably just, draw that lever up that makes it louder. Let's hear it by itself. It should be quite pleasant, if I'm not mistaken. And there it goes. Yeah. Sounds so analytical. But something that'll help that part of it. It's a little clean walking electric bass here, representing mostly eighth notes, but popping in with a little skip every once in a while, a little shuffle to it, and the steady eighths of the piano, just playing straight up chords, steady eighth notes throughout. They're kind of sort of like a doo-wop thing. I think of doo-wop when I think of that that approach to piano, but since these chords are more like sixth note, seventh, and diminished 4-note chords, makes it a little less doo-wop, but hey, we're just gonna play it now. Got no end to that sentence. Yeah, it's going somewhere now. It's got a little strut to it. It's got a little movement. I know you know what gives it more movement, and that is percussion. I'll start out just with the solo drum kit, because a lot of people have not seen drums scored out. A lot of drummers even are unfamiliar with this. A lot of them are, but there are some that haven't seen this. These little X heads here, bunch of X heads. Those are your cymbals. Here, I can click and we got the ride cymbal actually going here. In the next part, we got the hitting that bell, ride bell. So yeah, the kick, and the snare. Shall you all play together? Give me a beat. Yeah, so you take that with some of these other ones we just played. The harpsichord, a walk-in bass, doo-woppy piano, playing the 4-note chords, steady eighths. some alternating notes in the vibraphone, some higher pitched vibraphone alternating notes. Gives a little trickle, makes the tingles run down your spine. Then congas and maracas. Give it that momentum with the drum kit. And oops, play. Just take it back, take it back, take it back. All right, let's get it. Here's a section we're listening to. Fantastic. I just added some simple string activity here. I wrote some string stuff this morning. I might have written this last week though. So we're gonna isolate the strings. The bass and the cello are just more or less replicating what the walking bass is doing, and the viola, two violin parts, or actually that should be divisi, but I did not write that. I'm not good at the engraving part. I would have to take an extra week at least to prepare this for people to actually play, but once I get the money to hire people, I'm stuck with cheap old computer. Here we go. Now the computer robotic strings. Yeah. Now it's starting to sound more like a Netflix original drama series about murder or something. So bearing that chord sequence in mind, we're going to go back here and hear some of the higher winds. We have a couple flutes, alto flute in there, a oboe, and a English horn, or cor anglais. If it's been a while since you've heard about the English horn, it's like the oboe but deeper. It's in double reed, or like a bassoon that's higher. It's somewhere in the middle. It's the middle brother of the bassoon and the oboe. I'll shut up now, but here we go. Hear this part, you. In fact, I'm going to let this one play a little bit longer because I'm going to add the clarinet. I think it was a E flat clarinet. Is that what we got here? Go all the way back here. It's an A clarinet. Ooh, way off. So yeah, A clarinet and a bass clarinet, along with 4 or 5 saxophones that will be coming in later to give a counter rhythm for the second part of the chorus. Have a little taste. Get your pole. Creeped into that next part. That's the main riff. Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna give you a taste of it. See if it plays without. Yeah, that's something like that. I'm gonna see if I can play all of the instruments of that section because it has fewer instruments, and sometimes when you play all the instruments in a big score like this, it gets a little crackly. It doesn't want to do right. So make it a little bit smaller so you can see that there's all these things going on from the bass down here. I'm not gonna have harpsichord in here, but there are some strings hiding down there. Let's see if it works. Oh, then it breaks down. But anyways, thought that might be neat to hear the main section, since we're talking about the chorus. Mostly talking about the chorus. So I'm backing up the green vertical line here. And yeah, well, if that worked, let's go ahead and give it a try to play the whole thing all together. And that would, if it works without being too glitchy, that'll make a great conclusion to this, my first real video, fourth or so attempt at my first video. It's been a pleasure talking about stuff from my imagination with you. Hopefully you will be able to share your imagination with me later on. Let's hear how it goes. I swear it's much less glitchy in my imagination. But anyways, let's see if we can at least take some grouping of this and have it be a fun outro type thing, because I don't want to have to remake this video again. I've already screwed it up like 4 times. Anyone who's listening or watching this, I appreciate you. Hope that you might have learned something. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. I don't know if I'm going to post this just on YouTube. Leave a comment, I guess, if I do. Otherwise, if I know you, like, just ask me. If I don't know you, introduce yourself. I'm not too weird. It's probably as good as we can get without being too glitchy. So, yeah, thanks a lot. Good night.